Hey everybody, it's Shay Hall, and today is Tuesday, so it's time for our time management tip Tuesday. And I've got kind of a few nuggets in this one. It's not one clear tip for one thing that we're going to fix. But what I want to try to do is take down the stress level in your life. And one of the articles that I was reading the other day said we're all just way too busy and hurried to take care of the things that make us busy and hurried. And isn't that the truth? I mean, if you start thinking about the house that needs clean and the mail that you need to go through and the bills that you have to do and all the things that you need to get done, you start to feel stressed. And so those things that you need to do are stressing you out. And at some point we have to find a way to just kind of clear the decks, right? Like start from square one and figure out a new plan of action for how you're going to deal with that. So I'm going to tell you how I deal with it. And I try to be super consistent with this, and I really feel like it helps me. So one of the things that I did is I love to create systems. That's just the kind of person that I am. So I created a system for how I was going to keep my house kind of tidied and manageable, because when I walk through the house and it's completely cluttered and a disaster, it makes me stressed. And so whatever I can do to relieve that stress is better, right? So I have a list of about 4 things a day that I do to help keep my house in kind of a manageable state. Now, this isn't the all hands on deck, cleaning out the cupboards and washing the baseboards list. This is what I do every single day list, so that my house looks kind of clean and tidy. Every morning we have all hardwood floors, so I sweep. If we had carpeted floors, I would vacuum. So I sweep. I make sure that the dishes are done every day. I told you the other day that I put my load of laundry in the washer in the morning, and all the stuff is picked up and the clutter is picked up. My kids, my children, now I mean, I do have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, so it's time for them to take on some responsibility. They are in charge of making their beds every morning. They are in charge of making sure their room is straight and their pajamas are not on the floor. And they're in charge of getting their backpacks together and their lunches together, because I mean, I do make their lunch for them, but they have to put it together and put it in their backpack and make sure they have their homework. It's my opinion that if I give them those responsibilities now, they will only create good habits for later. And so rather than me doing everything I possibly can for them, I'd rather them take some of those responsibilities on their own. So that is kind of the way that I work my life so that I can keep things manageable. I get those few things done every day to try and keep the house nice and tidy so that my mind is clear for the day. I don't have the buildup of everything happening. I have 2 days a month that are just straight house cleaning days. So that's the bathrooms and the mopping and the baseboards and all of that. Those are scheduled in the calendar. And that's the last thing I do. And I know we've talked about this in earlier videos. Everything's in a calendar. It's all written down. If I'm at the dentist and we make an appointment for 6 months, it goes in the calendar. If I've got a house cleaning day, it goes in the calendar. Everything I try to do, bills are every week, filing every week, 1 day a week, it's in the calendar. That way I don't have to think about it. The only thing I have to do is make sure I look at the calendar. So those are kind of my tips for how I keep things manageable. What I would suggest is that you go through, you schedule a day to get the whole house cleaned and tidied, and then you make kind of a system for yourself that works for you for how you're going to keep things manageable in your life. All right, so let's declutter our minds, declutter our stress, and have a good day. Bye-bye.